Yo, what's up guys, I'm Charis and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new yak track, the Yak to the Shadows. We're going to be taking a look at the tasks, see which ones are worth doing and which ones are faster, which tasks you should be skipping if you are planning on using the skip tokens. I'm also going to be giving you a few tips on some specific tasks to be able to complete them as fast as possible. And finally, we're going to take a look at the rewards and see if it's worth it. Without further ado, let's get into it. If you don't care about how to complete the yak track or the tasks at all, you can just skip to the timestamp in the screen right now or in the description to go straight into the rewards. First, I'm going to show you how to have your current task progress on screen. So you're going to go to your yak track and then on the eye, you won't be able to see it on mine because mine is completed, but you can right click it and do track. You can do that for both of them, and if it doesn't show up on your screen right away, you can go to your ribbon and open up your activity tracker, and then a window will pop up with both of the tasks on there. On the following slides, you can see both of the tasks in every tier of the yak track, with the green one being the one that's better to complete. Take into account the tasks change depending on your level, so these are the tasks that are better on a max level account. The tasks where they are both in white means they're just as good or just as bad to complete, so just pick whichever one you want. You can also see which tasks are better to skip, so you can prioritize those tasks to use your skipping tokens on. You can also buy more skipping tokens by spending 1 bond for 4 skipping tokens or 2 bonds for 10 skipping tokens. I also set the clue scroll tasks better to complete every time, because if you're anything like me, you have your setup ready to go to complete clue scrolls very fast. But if you don't have that set up and you don't want to do clue scrolls, you're better off doing the other tasks or just skipping that tier altogether. And remember, these are in setting stone. You're free to choose whichever task you want. If there's a skill in there that you want to train and I didn't set it as a better one, you can still do it. And these are just, in my opinion, the better tasks to complete, just to complete the yak track as fast as possible. Feel free to pause the video and look at the slides as much as you want. And now we're going to move on to some of the tips for specific tasks that will help you complete them faster. Before we start with the tips, I just want to touch on the play RuneScape task. That just means you're going to get one progress every 3 minutes as long as you're getting XP. It works kind of like the event tokens, where as long as you're doing something in the game, you're going to progress on that task. It's never faster than the other task. It always takes a lot longer since you can only get 20 progress per hour, but it is a good place to take a break from the yak track since you are going to be making progress on that task while you're doing something else, and then you can come back to the yak track with that task done. Farming can be one of the fastest and easiest tasks to do if you set up beforehand. All you need to do is a herb run with a high enough tier of herbs in order to complete the whole task. Make sure you plant the higher level herb you can before you start doing the task, so whenever you get to the actual task, you can just run around, do the herb lore, plant them again for the next farming task. If you're not set up and you don't want to wait for the task, always use your beans in your player own farm to buy supreme growth potions and then use them on bushes in order to collect them and get the task done. Archaeology is a tricky one because some of the tasks are really easy to do and some of them are a lot harder. If you have a bunch of artifacts left over from when you were training archaeology, or if you're still training archaeology, these tasks are going to be really easy. But I did get one where I had to get, I think, over 1 million XP, which I just wasn't going to do, so I just did the other task instead. But something to keep in mind for archaeology is the water fiend doesn't work for whenever it multiplies things. So if you have a material task or an artifact task, if your water fiend duplicates it, then it's not going to count towards progress for the task. And there are some tasks where you have to collect materials, and on these you might be better off just going to material caches like Samite Silk in Caridad, where there's 4 caches, and then if those are gone, you can just go down, excavate a little on the regular spots, and then go back up to the caches. Another thing that's good to know is that the researchers don't count for the gain archaeology XP task, so don't even bother with those. The first couple of the mining tasks are really easy to do. The best way to do them is going to the coal deposits in the living rock caverns. If you mix this up with coal stone spirits, you're going to get 10 coal every time you successfully mine the rock, and that is just going to blow by your tasks super quickly. Once you get to the higher tasks, you can't do coal anymore, but you can still use stone spirits, so don't forget to bring those if you're doing a mining task. Woodcutting can also be super fast in the early tasks because you can do willows. If you combine this with the always adds seed or always adds relic from archaeology. That makes it so you burn your logs every single time. This just makes it super AFK. You don't have to be dropping logs all around, and you can go by this task really quickly. Once you get to the upper task, it's not really worth doing wood cutting because you have to do the higher level trees, and that just takes a lot longer. But you can use your nature sentinel, and sadly you cannot crystallize trees because those would be super fast as well. Rune crafting is another one that is super fast in the early tasks. All you have to do is teleport to an altar with a couple of essence in your inventory and your wicked hood, and you can just withdraw the essence from your wicked hood and craft the runes at the altar. Once you get to the higher levels, it is not as bad as woodcutting and mining, so you can still do it, and you can also do the rune span. Also keep in mind you can use an extreme rune crafting potion if you are doing one of the lower level runes in order to get your multiplier higher up and finish this task even faster. Crafting is one of the better bank standing skills to choose from the two tasks because you get a lot less items in crafting than you do in something like fletching or fire making or cooking, so it is better to choose crafting most of the time. Something else I wanted to know is that the first few tasks say green dragon leather only, and that is not the case. I actually use black dragon leather, and I'm sure blue and red will work as well, so you can just pick the one that's going to give you the most XP. Another very quick and good task to pick is the prayer one. You can use regular bones and accursed ashes as long as you don't mind spending a little bit of money. It's really not very expensive to do these tasks with bones and ashes, and you can actually scatter the ash and bury the bone on the same tick. So you can set up a preset with bones and ashes, then put one bone and one ash on your action bar and just hold down both buttons, and the bones and ashes will just start disappearing from your inventory and progress will start to be made. Even the highest task, which should be taking you from 40 minutes to an hour or maybe even more, with prayer you can just do in about 5 to 7 minutes. Divination is another one of those tasks which is super fast even at the higher tiers of the yak track. That's because it asks you to gather energy as opposed to memories, which means you can dump the memories into the crater and convert them into energy, and that energy will actually count as progress towards the task. This means if you are bringing Nightmare Muspa and you're dumping both inventories at the same time, it will only take you around 3 to 4 inventories to complete one of the highest tasks with Divination. Sadly, Divine Conversion, which is the relic, doesn't work for this. It will give you more energy as usual, but that energy won't count towards the progress, so make sure you have that relic off before you start doing this task. That's pretty much it for these specific tips on every task. Other things I wanted to know is for the kill monsters one, as long as it's not a very high number, you want to do corpse spiders in the Lumbridge catacombs. Those are really easy to kill, and you can just camp there with an aggression potion and they don't even hurt you. So those are really good to kill. You can get about 3,000 kills per hour there. The other one is for dungeoneering. You can do complexity 1 floors, which just makes it really fast as long as you don't have to do that many floors for the task. And smithing is an interesting one because you almost never want to do smithing unless on the task says you can smelt bars, even if it's Elder Rune bars. Smithing the items normally takes forever and you never want to do that, but smelting is actually not that bad. And remember to bring smelting gauntlets whenever you're doing the smelting tasks, because those put the bars into the ore bank by themselves, so you can AFK for 60 bars at a time. And that's it for the tips. Now we're gonna move on to the rewards, starting with the items like bonus XP stars and silver hawks, tight springs, oddments, and things like that. And we're gonna leave the cosmetics for the end. So along with the cosmetics, you also get a few other items. As you can see on screen, from the prismatic lamps, I got 770k XP at level 99, as well as 1.3 mil, almost 1.4 mil at level 99 as well from the prismatic stars. I got almost 3 mil from the cashbacks. I got 5,000 oddments, 250 tight springs, 250 silver hawks, 18 advanced pulse cores, 12 cinder cores, 100 dragon trinkets, 20 metallic trinkets, as well as some other items that I didn't include in that slide because they're just not that many. But I got 15 protein boosters, 4 small protein crates, 5 medium protein crates, 2 small combat dummies, and 2 easy, 2 medium, 3 hard, and 2 elite clue scrolls. If you're not a fan of the cosmetics, this is where you decide if it's worth it for you. If you look at it as something different to do other than something that you have to do, you might even have a little bit of fun doing it, and you also get all these rewards along with a couple of cool cosmetics that you might end up liking. It's also worth mentioning that by the end of the yak track, you'll also get 8% more prayer XP and 6% more agility and herbler XP until the end of the yak track, which is August 2nd, if I'm not mistaken. So that's also a good reason to get this and get it done. From this point on, I'm just going to showcase all the cosmetics with a little bit of background music. This is going to be the end of the video for me. Just stick around if you care to see all the cosmetics that you get from the yak track, and make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.